Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are watching this, whatever the case may be. Welcome to another edition of Soul Talk. Insert applause, insert applause. It has been a week for a lot of various reasons. Normally, I would be more inclined to go chronological order, but let's just go ahead and get to the most recent. I'm not necessarily going to say snafu. It didn't feel good. I was humbled. I was very much humbled yesterday. It's a fun story. I had bought tickets to see a comedy show. Richie Armani, local comedian in the area, was set to perform. Basically, it's like Straight Friends, I think is what the name of the show was. And I guess so. This is how much my brain has been fried so lately. So I go to hand my ticket to the place that I believe that it's going to be held at, the Seattle Comedy Club in Capitol Hill. And I go and hand a ticket for what turns out was the show that I went to last month. I had bought the ticket for the place I wanted to go. I just forgot to print it out. So I'm searching my email and I'm like, oh, what is this? It's a Richie show. It's on 419. I'm trying to find it. And it turns out I was in the wrong venue for it. Well, thankfully, let me rewind a little bit. When I went in through the doors, they're just like, do you have your ticket? And I'm like, yeah, I got it right here. Didn't even check it, just like, woo, you have it. And it's like, do you want to sign up for our competition? And I'm like, competition? Did you say competition? What pray tell is this competition? And yeah, it's audience participation. They suggest idioms, and there's a pun round. Well, you had me at pun. And peer pressure is a wonderful thing, so I'll go ahead and sign up. Because why not? Like, what is the worst that's going to happen? Is, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I need to put myself out there more, so why not? I am part of the, I've been in the audience. I've been in that venue before. Why not? Let's do it. And so I sign up. And so I go, as I'm going to check my ticket, they're like, oh, no, this is at a different location. Richie is performing here next month. But thankfully, because I've already built good PR with the owner of the venue, because this was the same place where 3 different people, and I think the owner was one of them, actually asked me if I was a comedian because because they appreciated the way that I spoke, my cadence and all that. And I'm like, no, I have a few failed podcasts under my belt. That's all. So built that PR and all that, and the owner was just like, I'll go ahead and honor your ticket because honestly, it's going to be safer here than at one of Richie's shows. Because he can get pretty savage and just relentless. And so it's just like, yeah, it's going to be safer here. Enjoy. Welcome. Here's a voucher for a free well drink. Cool. I'm just going to chill here a little bit, and it's going to be fun. And we got called up. Now, this is the part where I didn't realize, Joke Off. I forget what the name of the actual show is, but it should have been called it should have been Pros versus Joes, because I did not realize that the comedians that were performing that night were also alongside amateurs like me in this competition. So needless to say, I got taken to church that day. It was wild just seeing. I I want to say the dude's name was Honey, but I can't find Honey Comedian Seattle anywhere, or at least Honey Seattle takes me to something else altogether. Um, he was awesome. Like, he went on a roll. Like, there was something like he put an Android joke out there, and he just went on a tangent. Like, I was taken to church, and he's just like, "Stop laughing!" He was just I can't be mad because the pros are very good. And it's one thing, like, I think the first round was acronyms. Like, throw out an acronym, say a different thing about it, tell a story about it if you want to. And I just completely blanked, and I'm just like, I'll take ant. Everybody took the same one. They took ANT, and I just came up with something cringe, very comedy club worthy, because I was not. Because when I think ant, I think automatic negative thoughts, which we don't want. The therapy show was last month, so I didn't want to bring that there. So I don't. It was something about neuro testicles. I think I don't remember. And then we go to the idiom portion of it, where they throw an idiom out there, and you give a poor interpretation on what that idiom means. Mine was kill two birds with one stone. And I was trying to tell a compelling story about it's two birds fighting to the death, and the rock is a big boulder. And the big boulder ended up killing both of the birds. Nothing. It didn't land. And we know this because at the end of every round, there was an applause-o-meter that was used. And I was dead last with one of the other guys. Until we got a little bit of traction in the pun-off. And I'm thinking, great. I'm just going to... And then, but here's where deer in headlights came in. Because the pros were challenged to run a 2-minute set of nothing but puns. One of them completely used fish puns. Everything just encircled fish. And I'm like, oh dear, I'm in trouble. I think I got through one round because it was a generic thing like animals. And then the next one, they got really specific with office. And I was trying to put up, like, you got to tear down the barriers between your office workers. Because I work in a white-collar office. And I'm thinking, the barriers, I should have said dividers, probably. That might have landed a little bit. And then just, like, the rounds got boring or whatever. And, like, it became sudden, like, we did a do-over, and then a sudden death. Just nothing was landing. And then I knew that I was matched when they're just like, sudden death, one pun, go. And I went, my go-to is usually, I am the very model of a punny individual. Crickets. I'm like, Pirates of Penzance, musical, nothing. So I knew I was done. And like, I was gracious. I said, thank you for the opportunity. It was fun. I had a blast. I tried to, like, give high fives to people on the way out. But I felt mad. I felt mad at myself. And I just immediately left and walked home. To the point where I was so in my head because I am a customer service professional. I've been in customer service for over 10 years. I know how to talk to people. On this night, however, nothing was connecting with these people. And obviously, I don't want to dismiss it as just like, oh, well, it's just these people and all that. But, I mean, it might be. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's just like, I know how to talk to people. I know how to build connections with people. Why was I not able to do that? Why did a Pirate of Penzance joke go over them? They're a comedy crowd, aren't they? They should be art and cultured, especially in Seattle. But that didn't happen. And I was very much in my head about that, to the point where I completely walked home with no earbuds. And I swear there was a dude, I don't know if he was trying to get my attention or not, or at least in the way that I would have wanted attention at that time. But I swear that he said, "Sup, boss? You straight?" And I did not want to turn around and ask questions at 10 o'clock at night in downtown Seattle. But at the same time, he could have offered me hookers and blow, and I wouldn't have cared. I was just so mad at myself that just I understand that it's a completely different skill set being able to land jokes and be able to, because let's go ahead and exercise this challenge real quick. If you were on a stage and somebody said, "Okay, you need to come up with puns." It was a pun off, so it was supposed to be back and forth, like volleying or whatever. And I say, "I want you to give me your best sports puns." And go. What would you come up with? Like, genuinely, what would you come up with if you were on stage and somebody lobbied, or let's do another one. One of them was the acronym round. Come up with an acronym for EDB. What did you come up with? When the pressure is on, especially when the lights are dark and you cannot see the audience, your mind just goes completely blank. It's a different type of skill set. I'm recognizing it's a different skill set from if I am comfortable in my office and I am the one in control and I know the answers that I'm supposed to give. Basically, I'm trying to figure out what they are actually asking, and then I can provide them the answer that they are looking for, and asking probing questions and addressing empathy. It's a completely, I would nearly completely different skill set to being on a stage and responding to a crowd and telling jokes. And I felt humbled that night because of that. Not the least of which, because, on another excellent note, I went to see Neil deGrasse Tyson on Tuesday night. And that, from a presentation standpoint alone, because basically we were just in a class with him for 3 hours. We were talking about cosmic collisions. And I love that he felt so bad about going over time. And we're just like, "No, we love it. Keep going, keep going." And it was really cool to see, because like you have like radio personality. It's funny because like sometimes when you meet somebody, they have like their media voice, and then they have their in-person like awkward voice or whatever. This guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, was born to be a presenter, like in every sense of the word. Like I'm sure that he probably, like, I was in school again, 20 years since I've been in school at all, and I felt warm. I felt at home. I felt, it was important that we were among like-minded people and accelerated kids and aspiring young people. And the reason I say those distinctly, so there was a 6-year-old that was in the front row that caught Neil deGrasse Tyson's attention. And then I had the privilege of, next to me, there was a mother who recently got her master's degree because she wants to teach English to kids. And then her son, 8th grade, taking accelerated courses, already knows that he wants to go to UW so he can be an engineer for Boeing. It's moments like that where I'm like, these kids are gonna be all right. They're not bothered with everything that's going on in the world right now. They are just focused on doing the thing. And I'm glad that Neil deGrasse Tyson and other, academic champions. I think they are champions of academics in their own rights. Like if there was an Iron Chef, Iron Academics, maybe, could be. Wouldn't make a great game show because it would just be one-sided learning all day, not a competition. But I think, what was it, years ago? I thought there was like a geek version of something like that. Like, instead of it being Top Chef, it was like these geniuses that had academic knowledge of a very specific like geekdom or skill set or whatever. There was like a video game one and a movie one or something like that, and I forget what that was called. But yeah, this week has been a very transformative week when learning about myself and what I want. And I've been really coming to terms with that. There's still parts of me that are very afraid to vocalize what I want. And I don't know if it is the stigma that are attached to certain things, or if it will just sound like it's out of desperation. But yeah, there's definitely some things that I need to work on. I need to build more of my confidence and all that. But yeah, this week was very much a things are not working, and I need to figure out how to disassemble things. What was it? There was a post that my friend Heather uh, posted up from someone else recently. I'm talking about if there's some insecurity or some doubt, that means that there's a small part of you that is more comfortable with living in the shadow than stepping into the light. Something to that effect. And you have to wonder what that is holding you back. It's kind of wild that even turning 39 in June, that there's still some barriers that are holding me back. Like, and there's still some things where it's like, I know that I am meant to do more than what I am doing right now. But financially, the opportunities are not there for me right now. And that's really the double-edged sword of like, I want to do the thing, but I don't know the people, I don't have the means, I don't have the funds to do it. Because like, if we're being like fully transparent here with the books or whatever, and I'm sure a lot of you would agree with this kind of sentiment, if I could find a way to earn $5,000 right now, I would be able to cover the entirety of the back pay of my rent. If I had $10,000 right now, I would be able to cover that and my collections debts. If I had $20,000 right now, I'd be able to take care of all that and be able to save a nest egg for the off season, in which undoubtedly work is going to be a little harder to find. And anything above that, that's just going to mean that I'll be able to invest into the passion projects that I really want to do. I would be able to get internet again. I'd be able to get my computer running again. I'd be able to start working on professional projects from home. But as it is right now, 25 an hour ain't cutting it. And I know I am worth more than 25 an hour. It's just a matter of whether the universe is going to provide that sooner or later. Because I have to believe that things are going to work out. The universe responds in frequencies. And a lot of the things that I have had to do have been, when push comes to shove, we make things happen. I was listening to something not too long ago, and a lot of people talk about like the noble sacrifice of like you put yourself out there, you got to like, push mountains and all this other stuff. And someone said recently that you don't have to take away things in order to add things to it. And as it might be hard to believe at times, I have noticed that the most clarity comes from me when I am not pushing myself, when I give myself that permission to breathe and to relax and to just take time. That allows me to step up and be better. Because if you push yourself when you're tired, something is going to slip. And I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself so that way I can put myself forward. Even though financially right now I'm not able to completely take care of everything that is wrong with me, there's a bit of a laundry list on things that I need to do, like that for one. But it's not impossible. I've seen things work. I've seen progress. I just know that I'm very impatient. I'm very impatient. I had to come to terms this morning, actually, with, you hear all the time, I'm like, don't go chasing for things, the universe will find you where you are and that kind of stuff. And there's still a part of me that is like, what more can I do? It's like, I am not, I humble myself all the time. I don't try to speak for other people. I don't try to berate, try to put people down when, looking at the shoe on the other foot or what have you. So it's like, if the universe knows what I want, and I'm still a decent person, then what's taking so long? Patience is a virtue that I am starting to run on short supply. I have to come to terms that this coasting right now is not ideal. I feel I deserve to thrive. I know that I have a voice. It's just a matter of finding that outlet that's going to allow me to do it. Meanwhile, the world is literally on fire. But you really have to put your blinders on when you're taking care of yourself. Like, it's all a matter of what you put your focus and what you put your energy on. And if I can't bring myself to my highest potential, then what the hell is worrying about how the rest of the world is going to respond to current events? What is that going to do for me? And I know that's not a popular opinion, because we all want to care for people. But there's just so much out there that you get into stimulus overload. And we're not hardwired to be Atlas. We can't carry all the burdens of the world just because it's in our social media feed. So my resources have been limited and dwindling. And my time and energy is focused on, what is the next step? What is it that I need to do? How many nets do I need to cast out in order to land the opportunity that I want? And a lot of that has really come to light as of recently with where I'm at right now. It's become abundantly clear that departments don't like to talk to each other. And when that comes at the cost of confusion among associates and me being unable to help any further than I already am, it's been a problem. And we're not even a month into the season yet. So it just makes me wonder, like, first of all, this 2024 has gone by so quickly. We're almost in May. It's almost Free Comic Book Day, first Saturday in May. Where has the time gone? There's still parts of me that are bothered with the narrative that I sometimes tell of nobody misses me at home, so I might as well be out. There's that part of it that I wish didn't bother me so much. Because, like, I just want to have, like, if we're being fully honest and transparent, I want to have somebody that is excited to be around me. And there's been a lot of times where I feel that I am just an accessory to other people's lives. And I need to stop being about that. I need to stop supporting. There's something that I'm reminded of. If it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. If you are going to chase your dream, are you for it or are you hesitant about it? Because if you're neutral and like, I don't know, then you're against it. And I need to start being for the things that I am most passionate about. I need to let those things excite me again. I need to allow the things that build purpose, that allow me to chase that wonder. I need to allow for more of that to come through and not just go through the motions. You know, whatever you believe about, you know, The Secret or universe or any of that, you know, I have to allow the frequency of abundance to carry through and welcome that in if I want to make any changes in my life. So that's kind of where I've been at. It's a little bit of an identity crisis, a little bit of a purpose crisis, a little bit of wanting and purpose and searching for fulfillment. But that is kind of the human condition, isn't it? There was something that somebody said recently where, so backing up, part of what I kind of came to terms with is to try to honor all aspects of myself, both good and bad. And it's not necessarily bad, just maybe not the most favorable. Because, like, you know, parts of me that want to be a jerk, that's not a bad part. That's just a human part. And so there was a video where, like, imagine if all the aspects of you were just a pile of coins. And some of them are thrown as heads, some of them are thrown tails. And it's up to you. You can look at each individual part. And if you want to build and improve on that, and you succeed at that, then you can flip that heads. If you don't, you know, want to change that and want to let that can stay tails. But we're all human, and I have to allow myself to be that. I was recommended a TED Talk where this mediator, she honors all the aspects of herself as if she is mediating herself. Excuse me. She is a professional moderator. She moderates all the aspects of herself, even the parts of her that are a little bit of a jerk. And the term that she used was unconditional welcome. And what that was encompassing was, like, you know, it's her job as a moderator to try to get to know people and help them improve, even the ones that are not likable and borderline detestable. So when being neutral isn't the answer, the phrase unconditional welcome was really what struck a chord with me. Because once you welcome in all the aspects that they are, and just allow a conversation to start. That's when progress can be made. Because this person was, I think in the example that she used was like, this person was like, I don't believe in vaccines. I don't know what's in it, while feeding her child French fries or something like that. And as detestable as that stance was, she could still see that this is a person that wanted to protect their child that didn't know anything that was going on with the world around them. And that takes a certain type of courage and strength that is seldom found in people these days. I'll admit, I'm not sure if I would be the person to do that. But it's honorable. It's something that, because we're in such this hill that we die on sort of mentality, that I think we're so divisive amongst each other that we've kind of forgotten how to just exist as people. And it's not necessarily getting along with everybody. It's just accepting things as they are. I had a conversation with somebody at work recently where, back when Obama was in office, the meme question that went around was, what would be your 3-word presidential campaign? That people would chant or make posters up or something like that. And during that time, I came to the conclusion that mine would be do no harm. I may not necessarily agree with certain things, but I'm not going to go out of my way to tell somebody, like, not to live that life. As long as they are not actively harming people, do no harm, let them be. I'm not going to cause a stink about, like, my moral victories or whatever. We need more of that. We need it's not tolerance, because the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. But it's just allowing things to be, allowing things to exist. I think people are so wrapped up in the emotional baggage and the emotional attachment of, like, why is nobody doing anything? Sometimes things just are. And there are some things where no one person is powerful enough to stop it. And even if you get a group of people together, you can't get everybody together. And some people are just not built for fighting. Some people just want to exist, to vibe, to just be. There's definitely aspects of me where I need to be more and not focus on being accomplishment driven. Even though I do have visions and I do want to accomplish things. That was why I had to pull away from wrestling. It's because I didn't want the drive of achievement to be the end goal. Not too long ago, there was a therapist that I was watching, or a psychology major, and he talked about how when people are more happy when they're in the pursuit of a medal than when they get the medal. Same thing happens with the Oscars, because you've worked your entire life to achieve the goal, and now that you've achieved it, now what? And I think the doctor said they're only happy for about 4 hours. And then they get depressed again. And then they have to, in order to keep that high of chasing something, go for something even higher. So then it becomes the pursuit of success that defines you. And that's dangerous. So I have to remember that. Yeah. I have to start remembering to just be. And there's a small part of me that believes that to be, if that means that the dreams and the visions I have to die, so be it. I hope that's not true. But we're all about transparency here. A lot to think about. A lot to think about purpose and goals and all that. So we're just going to let that be for now. Till next time. Just remember this. Be kind to yourself. You are your own priority. And you matter. Till next time.